USC is helping Puerto Rico with recovery efforts in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. We'll show you how.
An entertainment expert explains why yet another sexual assault scandal in Hollywood is a sign of more to come.
And tonight I'll show you how one of Los Angeles' tastiest hotspots is going blue for the Dodgers.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
USC's Health Sciences campus is donating syringes and other surgical supplies to the University of Puerto Rico Medical Center. I'm Sophia Bosk.
And I'm Dan Toomey. More than 50 boxes of hurricane aid are on their way and are expected to arrive next week. It's been more than a month since Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, yet construction vehicles are just starting to clear wreckage from the storm. Also, power has been restored to only 18% of the island. Local officials say it will be months before power is fully restored. Puerto Rico is in desperate need of aid. Annenberg Media's Claudia Buccio is live in our newsroom with more on how USC is helping out. Claudia?
Thanks, Dan. Medical supplies are running low at many hospitals and clinics in Puerto Rico. Doctors on the island are reaching out to colleagues for help. So now a couple of USC doctors are taking action.
It is a busy day at USC's Norris Cancer Center. Workers are packing medical supplies to send to Puerto Rico tomorrow.
We were given a list of supplies that they needed, and then we got to work and we were able to order it in.
USC Norris will send the items directly to the University of Puerto Rico Medical Center. Norris Dr. Mariana Stern received a personal request from her longtime friend and colleague.
I asked her, how can we help you? And she told me that they were in desperate need of many basic supplies that they need to treat their patients. So a lot of the things we're sending are things that might be needed in the operating room or basic things to treat infections. We're sending a lot of antibiotics.
About 50 boxes will be shipped via FedEx.
The idea is to fit as many things as they can in a box just like this one right here. So in this one, there are a lot of pharmaceutical medicines, for example, aspirins, but then if you look around, a box over here has gloves, and the list of things that they need back in Puerto Rico are needles, syringes, tongue depressors, even batteries.
Doctors in Puerto Rico are struggling to provide proper treatment because of the conditions at hospitals.
With all the delays and the lack of electricity, a lot of patients are experiencing delays in their cancer treatment, so there are higher risk of developing infections. They're also seeing an increase in the number of intestinal infections because people don't have access to water.
Doctors say these supplies will only last about a month.
So efforts like this and many others are going to need to be long-term, and we need to find a way to sustain them and maintain them.
USC Norris Cancer Center donated an undisclosed amount of money to this cause. These supplies are expected to arrive in a week. There's no word on future shipments.
We were unable to reach out to Dr. Stern's colleague in Puerto Rico. No surprise given the communication problems the island is still facing. Back to you, Sophia and Dan.
Thank you, Claudia, for that in-depth look at our support to Puerto Rico. And a partnership between the LAPD and the USC Schools of Public Policy and Social Work is designed to help officers better serve the needs of their communities. Annenberg Media's Sonica Bargo has more about the program.
Members of the LAPD and USC faculty announced a program today called the Law Enforcement Advanced Development Certificate, or LEAD.
This program was started actually more than 2 years ago as a result of concerns about police violence.
Officers who apply to the one-year pilot program receive online training. They also meet at USC and take courses taught by experts and professionals.
We wanted people to actually come away with practical skills that would change what happened on the streets.
These courses cover a range of topics, from interacting with the homeless population to dealing with drug abuse and gang violence.
One of the most important issues is not seeing special populations like the homeless or the mentally ill just as threats.
The pilot phase of the program has 40 officers. Officer Johnny Gill says the USC courses have given him more in-depth knowledge.
We had a subject matter expert in LGBT that came out and spoke. They were even able to shed some light on different topics that maybe the officers weren't fully 100% aware of.
The officers also collaborate on a capstone project to build relationships with different groups in their communities.
They would describe how appropriately they should work together as a team.
If the pilot program is successful, Knott hopes it can become a model for police training nationwide. For Annenberg Media, I'm Sonica Bargo.
And a UC Irvine senior and leader of the Rebuild CCR party is the new chairwoman of the California College Republicans. Ariana Rollins defeated USC graduate and centrist Republican Lisa Dansek. The vote was 88-64. Rollins' focus is on increasing representation of Republicans on California campuses.
We're reshifting the focus of the California College Republicans. The other side, the establishment, really ignored the culture war that's happening on campus. Besides offering, sort of training and help with specific situations, we are going to establish a California College Republicans legal defense team, which would not only deter, college administrators from infringing illegally upon conservatives' rights, but it would back that up.
Dansek's Thrive campaign was a more moderate choice for college Republicans. Their supporters disagree with the Rebuild CCR party and Rollins' aggressive campaign techniques.
Ariana is moving to remove every single Thrive person that is on the executive committee. She's working to change the Constitution, change the bylaws, change pretty much everything that college Republicans have been previously, and completely push out anyone that disagrees with her. So this definitely is not a fight that's over.
The even split of the board between the two states is the first contested election in nearly a decade. It reflects a national battle between more traditional GOP members and more conservative ones.
California Senate Leader Kevin De Leon will conduct an external investigation into allegations of sexual harassment within the state Senate. The decision comes after more than 140 female political workers called out the Capitol's culture of sexual misconduct. De Leon released a statement today saying, "There's always more employers can do to protect their employees. Everyone deserves a workplace free of fear, harassment, and sexual misbehavior. And I applaud the courage of women working in and around the Capitol who are coming forward and making their voices heard." And the New York Attorney General is launching a civil rights investigation into the Weinstein Company. This comes after dozens of women came forward with allegations of sexual harassment and assault against producer Harvey Weinstein. And this weekend, another Hollywood director came under fire for harassment, James Toback. The LA Times reports more than 30 women are accusing Toback of harassment. He's also accused of preying on female teenagers. Women told the Times he would lure them into sexual favors by promising to cast them in his films. We spoke with USC's Mary Murphy about what these accusations reveal about sexual assaults in Hollywood culture.
Harassment is built into the entertainment industry. It's as old as the beginning of the entertainment industry. When women are paid by men who harass them, they have to sign confidentiality agreements. And when you sign that, you can't come forward. If they came forward, that would mean to them they would lose their jobs. I think the women who have come out are feeling a solidarity with other women. I think there's no stopping this now. I think men should be scared, especially predators. Male predators in Hollywood should be afraid.
James Toback received an Oscar nomination in 1991 for his work on the film Bugsy, and he denies all of the allegations.
And on a different note, we had record-breaking temperatures across LA today. The National Weather Service is forecasting more heat and strong winds for tomorrow. The fire department is working to prevent the spread of wildfires.
Within the municipality, the city of Los Angeles, we have a lot of canyons and areas where the wind gusts are funneled, if you will, by the mountainsides, and that's where the most potential for a fast-moving brush fire exists.
Porter Ranch in the San Fernando Valley is one of the LA communities where the heat and strong winds could cause rapidly spreading fires. Residents are getting ready just in case.
We're just ready to go. We have all the pet food in one place. We know exactly what to take. Just pay attention to the news reports. I checked the Los Angeles fires online. Hope for the best.
After the wildfires that took 40 lives in Northern California, the fire department is urging LA residents to stay alert and to evacuate if there's any threat from a fire.
Now, tomorrow may be one of the hottest World Series games in recent history, but that's not putting a damper on Dodgers fans' excitement. Our Brittany Hope is live at Dodger Stadium to tell us more. Brittany?
That's right. I'm here at Dodger Stadium where it looks a little empty right now, but I can explain exactly why now. Right behind me in the stadium, not sure if you can hear the music as loudly as I can, but both teams playing in the World Series are hitting the turf to practice. Now, Dodgers went on at 5 o'clock, and the Astros will be hitting the turf at 6:30 to get their workout on the eve of Game 1. Now, this event is historic for Los Angeles Dodgers fans. The Dodgers haven't been in the World Series since 1988, so fans have literally been waiting 29 years for this. I went to Fairfax earlier today to talk to some fans to see how they're celebrating this historic World Series. If you're planning to go to Pink's Hot Dogs in Hollywood, you will probably notice that Pink's isn't pink. The historic hot dog spot went blue for the first time in 78 years to celebrate the Dodgers entering the World Series.
There's nothing that comes closer to baseball than a hot dog. So this is authentic LA. This is historic LA.
Owners Richard and Gloria Pink say the redecorating was their duty.
This is the end of a 29-year drought. It requires celebration.
And they pulled out all the stops.
Our team, this team here at Pink's, transformed everything.
The walls, floors, uniforms, hats, windows, and marquee were painted blue literally overnight. Dodgers fans from all over Southern California drove today to show their Dodgers and stomachs some love.
We drove 40 miles just to come to get some Pinks.
It took me about 30 miles to get here, but it's worth it.
And these aren't just bandwagon fans, they're the real deal.
Since I could remember, because all my uncles and family, they all root for the Dodgers.
Since I could say Dodgers when I was about 3 years old. Now it's going about 54 years.
I've been for 26 years now.
One fan is almost literally bleeding blue.
I even have a tattoo with Boo Boo Bear at the Dodger hat.
Here in front of me, I have that Pink's Hot, and this dog is massive. There's the bun, the dog, mustard ketchup, there's chili, cheese, and 4 pieces of bacon on top. Let's take a bite. The pop. Fans lined up waiting to get their hands on that special Dodger dog. They are pretty confident in a Dodger win.
Go Dodgers!
And so are the Pinks.
This is going on until the Dodgers win the series, okay? And if the Dodgers win, we'll probably celebrate beyond that.
Now, seriously, that was actually one of the best hot dogs I've had in my whole life. The 4 pieces of bacon on top maybe will give you a heart attack. I don't know, but it was delicious nonetheless. Now, in better news, the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Houston Astros here at Dodger Stadium at 5 o'clock. Now, fans will be getting here early in the morning to get parking. It's going to be a madhouse here, but only certain fans will be here. I got to tell you, we looked up ticket prices earlier today, and for the top deck in the Dodgers section, these are just your normal nosebleed seats. Tickets were $1,000, and over on the Houston side, they're over at $800. So tickets are pretty pricey. I talked to fans over at Pink's who said most of them will really be watching the game at home, at bars, or at other viewing parties. Now, this game tomorrow, it's historic. As we said, Dodgers haven't been in the World Series since 1988. For the Astros, it hasn't been since 2005, but both of these teams are pretty evenly matched. It looks like the Dodgers should win on paper, but we all know things get a little different, a little crazy once those teams hit the diamond. Now, me, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, been a Dodger fan since I was a little girl. My favorite player is pitcher Clayton Kershaw. I think he's going to win MVP. I mean, I think so. I hope so. We'll see what happens, but we're really excited for Game 1 of the World Series starting tomorrow. Now, live from Dodger Stadium with Annenberg Media, I'm Brittany Hope. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for that in-depth look at Dodgers fans. And on a different note, high winds for tomorrow's season opener at Dodger Stadium could affect the game.
That's right, and Catalonia is still fighting for independence from Spain. And some residents in Madrid say it's time for their government to step up.
And noise from new flight patterns at LAX are disturbing residents in South LA.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Political leaders in Barcelona say they aren't stepping down after the Spanish Prime Minister called for new elections this weekend. This all comes after the Catalonian region voted for independence from Spain earlier this month. As Annenberg Media's Cole Sullivan tells us, many residents in Spain's capital think it's time for the government to step in.
The Spanish Prime Minister's decision to replace the leader of Catalonia was an unprecedented and forceful move, but one that many people here in Madrid support. The people I talked to say they hope this chaos over the independence movement will be over soon.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we have reached a point where people think they can bypass the law.
And in this neighborhood northwest of Madrid, residents don't have much sympathy for Catalonians moving forward.
Now that Article 155 is on the table, it has to be applied. People need to partake in this new system under the Constitution that governs us all. There are norms and behaviors that people have to follow.
If it was my choice, it would end easily. Everyone who doesn't follow the law, there's only one thing. They get their punishment.
The next step, later this week, the Spanish legislative body will vote on that measure to revoke Catalonia's autonomy. It's yet another escalation in this independence movement. In Madrid, I'm Cole Sullivan for USC Annenberg Media.
And if you've stepped outside at all today, you would know it is hot outside. Lindsay has the word on what the weather will be for this week. Lindsay, what do you have for us?
That's right, guys. It is brutal out there. It might be October, end of October for that matter, but it feels like the middle of July. Let's take a look at your current conditions. So right now it's dark out, it's 6:15-ish, and it is still 94 degrees. Earlier today in downtown LA, it hit a high of 102 degrees. Now, this broke the record of 1965 when at this date in October, it hit 98 degrees. And this was happening all across Los Angeles. LAX, it was 101 today. Over in Long Beach, it hit 105, and in Burbank, 101. Now, this is still going to continue tomorrow and Wednesday. Let's take a look at what it's going to look like tomorrow. Going down into the desert, again, super hot out there, even very warm out in Big Bear as well. Again, like a few weeks ago, Big Bear was in the 40s. It's back up in the 70s. Taking a look up in the San Fernando Valley, really hot throughout the valley and even near the coast. It's not cooling down at all. Back home, closer to USC, as you can see, it's going to be over 100 degrees tomorrow. Make sure you bring some water if you're coming onto campus for the day. Taking a look at the 5-day forecast that we have out here. As you can see, it's going to cool down a little bit into the weekend, but in my opinion, 89 degrees is still very hot for October. The first 2 games of the World Series are here in Los Angeles this weekend, but the teams could be facing record-breaking heat. Temperatures tomorrow are expected to reach 100 degrees and even higher on Wednesday. If this happens, it will break the record for the hottest World Series. In 2001, that was in the mid-90s in Phoenix when the Diamondbacks played the Yankees. And in addition to the extreme heat, the Dodgers and Astros will also be battling the Santa Ana winds. The area around Dodger Stadium is sheltered, but there could still be gusts within the park. These desert winds are expected to reach up to 10 miles per hour on Wednesday. After battling the LA heat, the teams may be able to cool off in Houston Friday. Temperatures there are expected to be in the low 80s with a 40% chance of rain.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the word on that, Lindsay. And now on a different note, many South LA residents are complaining about noise after LAX changed flight paths into and out of the airport. Now more flights are going over neighborhoods like West Adams. Residents say the noise is a nuisance.
There is a website where you can put in your zip code and you can file a complaint. And in this particular neighborhood, the complaints have gone from 1 to 5,700. So I would really like to encourage your students to file a complaint if they hear a noise.
Annenberg Media got a statement from the FAA this afternoon saying the FAA is focused on identifying and exploring common ground that may address the petitioner's concerns, while being mindful that airspace and air traffic procedures are highly dependent upon each other within the national airspace system. Both sides have been ordered to work out their differences in a Washington, D.C. federal courtroom.
And we have some more on the Dodgers, a very popular topic today.
Absolutely, guys. We got game 1 on Tuesday, tomorrow night at 5. Game 2 on Wednesday. Like Lindsay said, it's going to be hot. Can't wait. Thank you, guys. Sports correspondent Julia Poe and I will preview the World Series and the keys to victory for the Dodgers and Astros. USC's #1 men's water polo team is on a 6-game win streak, and we'll take a look at their impressive win over the weekend. And we'll recap the USC Notre Dame football game in South Bend and how a team with preseason playoff aspirations now have 2 losses before November.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
The USC Trojans football team heads down to Tempe, Arizona on Saturday to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. This Pac-12 South matchup comes after a disappointing showing against their Midwestern rivals, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. USC could not make anything work on both sides of the ball, leading to a Notre Dame blowout. Even when the offense had opportunities to score, the squad could not convert. The Fighting Irish defense recorded 5 sacks, grabbed 2 fumbles, and forced quarterback Sam Darnold to throw an interception. Despite solid fan support, USC fell flat and lost to Notre Dame 49-14. Our sports correspondent Julia Poe is with us to talk about how the Trojans are having one major problem on offense up to this point in the season.
Thanks, Nick. Now, Saturday's loss to Notre Dame exposed the team's biggest weakness so far this season, shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers. Quarterback Sam Darnold fumbled the very first snap of the game, and that was only the first turnover of the night. The Trojans coughed the ball up 3 times, with Jack Jones dropping a punt return and Darnold throwing away an interception in the first half. Notre Dame capitalized on every single mistake, scoring 21 points off of turnovers.
We're seeing now that we can't overcome them. You know, these teams are better and better. It's going to continue to get better and better down the road. We just got to not hurt ourselves.
19 on the seasons, the Trojans are now second in the nation in turnovers. They still have a shot at the Pac-12 title, but Darnold and the Trojans have to hold on to the ball to win this conference. Now, Nick, back to baseball.
Absolutely. Baseball will be taking center stage in LA this week as Game 1 of the World Series between the LA Dodgers and Houston Astros is tomorrow night at Dodger Stadium. I'm here with Julia to talk keys to victory for each team. Julia, what do you see as the main way the Dodgers come out with this World Series championship?
And the Dodgers are a defense-first team, and if they stick to those roots on the mound, they'll be hard to beat. Clayton Kershaw and Yu Darvish both need to pitch lights out against the Astros, and the dominant bullpen must continue to come through. The Dodgers have also shown that they have some big bats of their own, with Enrique Hernandez hitting 3 homers in Game 5 against the Cubs. The clutch hitting of Justin Turner and Yasiel Puig took the spotlight throughout the NLCS. And if it continues, the Dodgers will bring well-rounded talent into this World Series. And with the series starting and ending at Dodger Stadium, they'll have a little home field advantage of their own.
They do. That game 6 and 7 at home will be big for the Dodgers. As for the Astros, I have 2 important keys for them to taking a title to H-Town. The first is designated hitter Evan Gattis. Despite going 1 for 10 in the ALCS against the Yankees, his one hit was a home run in Game 7, and he went 4 for 10 in the ALDS against Boston. On top of that, he has a career .286 batting average against Dodger ace Clayton Kershaw. Secondly, the Astros' infield defense is something special, with all-stars Jose Altuve and at second base, Carlos Correa at shortstop, and ultra-utility man Alex Bregman at third. Look for that infield to have a flawless World Series defensively, Julia. Now, with the series starting tomorrow night, I need a prediction from you. Who are you taking?
You know, I'd love to say Houston, but honestly, I think the Dodgers are going to pull this one out. They just have been building so well throughout all of the postseason, and it looks like they're really going to have that momentum. And like you said, those last 2 games being back here in Los Angeles are going to be huge for them if they can even get one on the road.
I'm with you. If Kershaw is pitching a game 6 or 7 here at Dodger Stadium, I think the Dodgers take it in 6 or 7 games. Back to you guys at the desk.
And Justin Timberlake will be the Super Bowl halftime performer this season.
We'll hear what students think of the NFL bringing JT back.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be?
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Justin Timberlake will be headlining the halftime show for the Super Bowl. USC students had mixed reactions.
It just hurts me, the fact that we have someone who is a subpar talent being in one of the most biggest televised sports.
That's awesome. I think he's a great performer, so I think he'll do a good job, and yeah, it'll be a great show and everything like that.
Seems cool. Don't really listen to a lot of his more recent music, but I'm there for it.
I mean, I'm excited. Justin Timberlake's been around for a very long time, so who doesn't like NSYNC? So it'll be exciting. I'm not the biggest fan, but it'll be cool.
This will be Timberlake's 3rd time at the Super Bowl.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News for everyone at Annenberg Media. I'm Dan Toomey.
And I'm Sophia Bosk. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.
All right.